What's going on, guys? Welcome back to a brand new video. In today's video, we're going to talk about meme coins, but we're not going to have the usual video in which I review my top 5 to buy now, top 3 to buy now. I want to talk more facts because a lot of people are being very emotional about the market. The market is very down. It hasn't been a good time to be in crypto, to be completely honest with you. But I am still accumulating projects, obviously. I'm still accumulating meme coins, but I'm not doing as many swing trades in and out like I was doing a couple of months ago because the market conditions are not favorable. And as I tweeted the other day, one of the main thing that is gonna distinguish the good investors by the bad investors is gonna be trading when you need to trade and not trading when you don't need to trade. If the market conditions are not favorable, it's way better to not trade. However, I am still accumulating projects for the long term, and I'm gonna talk about the projects that just make sense for me to keep and accumulate for the long term. Full disclosure, I obviously hold some of the projects that I'm going to talk today. However, I don't hold every single project that I'm going to talk about today. And this really, I think, distinguishes from the majority of people that you find here on YouTube, that they just make videos when they want to pump their bags or whatever. I don't have any problems telling you I hold a project or I don't hold a project, but I'm also going to tell you if I hold it and if I don't hold it. So yeah, that is the disclaimer that I wanted to make. Obviously, a lot of people will also disagree with my definition of blue chip meme coins. Some people think that there's no definition, no such thing as a blue chip meme coin, and I would have to partially agree because meme coins investing is still extremely risky. So I want to start this video by saying, obviously, regardless of a blue chip status or not, wherever you think about a meme coin project, don't invest more than you can afford to lose. You can lose everything, and be okay with your investment going to zero if you decide to invest into a meme coin project. Okay, now before really getting started, obviously consider subscribing. If you're new to this channel, I'm bringing daily alpha every single day, like for real. And also on my X profile, make sure to follow me there. There's a lot of information there. I also have a free Telegram, which is linked down in the description. And I also have a big announcement, but I'm gonna make it later. It's related to my VIP group, and I'm very excited to bring you guys there. But now let's get started with the video. These are not gonna be in any particular order. I haven't even counted how many projects I'm gonna have to talk about today, but let's just get started. Okay, the first one is Resistance Dog, Rito. This project, why do I choose it? I choose it because it really stands for something. I don't want to say that this project has some sort of utility because at the end of the day, it's still a meme coin. It doesn't really have a utility. However, it has some kind of meaning in my eyes because obviously I assume that most of you are going to be aware with the situation with Pavel Durov and his incarceration, expected charges, etc., and how a lot of people think that this was not fair. And obviously, I'm not here to get political or anything. You can disagree or agree with what's been discussed or everything, but I think that this project really stands for something because it stands for the fight towards censorship. So first of all, this was created by Pavel Durov, founder of Telegram, founder of the Open Network, Ton. And he created this meme coin as this mascot, this unofficial mascot of the Ton ecosystem, to protect for the fight towards censorship. And since he was incarcerated for the same exact reason of basically safeguarding censorship for people on his platform, this really makes a lot of sense. And another thing that really makes you think also is how seriously they're taking this, because if you see the logo of Ton right now, for a moment it was the entire logo of the Resistance Dog. Now right now it's just the Ton icon with the Ton logo on top of it, which you can see right now. They changed it just as a support for Pavel Durov. It actually, the price action of Ton itself has been, quite obviously, it took a hit. Now it seems to be coming back, however, and obviously the movement of Rito is going to be heavily impacted by the movement of the Ton price itself. If you had been in my private group, you probably would have taken some profits here. In fact, it did a 3x overnight due to the news right there, and we took some profits here and then bought back lower, whatever you want to put it. But in my opinion, in the long-term outlook, I don't see how, being the biggest meme on Ton, it wouldn't be any less than 1 billion. If we went to 1 billion market cap, it would be a 25x from here, because right now it's 40 billion in market cap. And I think that realistically we could achieve a market cap of anywhere between 1 to 3 billion. Perhaps 2 to 3 billion would be more realistic. And I know that it's a bit of a long shot, but at the end of the day, this is the biggest meme on Ton. It really stands for what Ton is. And if you are a strong believer of the Ton ecosystem and what the chain can achieve, then you probably are going to be a strong believer into this project as well. So I do have a bag. I don't have a massive bag. I'm not a whale into this project by any means, but I still got a bag as a higher risk bet, so to speak. For the same similar reason, I do believe that you should probably bet on one of that is going to be one of the best risk to reward ratio meme coins to buy for this altcoin cycle, because at the end of the day, Pepe is a relatively new project. Although it's been around for more than 1 year, it hasn't gone through a proper bull cycle. It's been through the meme coin craze that we've seen in the last few months, but at the end of the day, it hasn't gone through a proper bull run that you can imagine traditionally, right? It's not listed on Coinbase. It didn't get listed because Coinbase got a lot of backlash listing, talking about this project as some sort of white supremacy bullshit, which I don't care really to discuss these things, but obviously it was all like FUD and BS, so I don't see any reasons why Coinbase wouldn't list this project at some point during the bull market. And given that Coinbase is the biggest exchange in the world, you already know what I'm going to tell you, is that you want to accumulate before the tier 1 exchange listings come into action. And it's already listed on Binance, it's already on Kraken, but it's not listed on Coinbase. So if you were talking about the top 3 of tier 1 exchanges, Coinbase is still missing. It's got 2 out of 3. And given that it hasn't gone through a proper bull run before, given that the majority of the whales that were into this project, they already dropped when we had the initial run right there, I do see a very strong fact for actually having this project pump sooner than later when we have a Coinbase listing and when the market conditions are favorable. Also, we're talking about something that is 32% in volume to market cap ratio, something that achieved, what was the highest? I think somewhere around 8 billion in market cap. Right now, it's gone through quite hefty corrections, so to speak. We are at 3 billion. Listen, if Doge was able to pull that off in the previous bull run, we haven't seen anything of the sort this bull run so far, but I think we're going to see it with Pepe. And I think that at this market cap, it's quite a safe investment, especially considering that the early cabal investors that really made this project from the ground up, the early whales, they're all out of this project anyway. So right now there's more and more retail power into this, more exchange wallets, obviously, which I'm sure they want to do very well with this investment. I don't see a reason why you shouldn't have Pepe in your portfolio, and I don't have any. I don't have any because I do think that there's better choices when it comes to getting better multipliers. But obviously Pepe is a very low risk project in the meme coin sphere right now. But obviously it's still got a degree of risk, but it's less risky than the majority of other projects. I do believe that there's other projects that are not that much riskier, but still gonna give higher rewards, and I choose to focus on those ones. But if anybody's telling me, listen, Pepe is gonna be my main meme coin holding, I don't have a problem with that, and I would say by all means you do you, because it's probably gonna be one of the winners of this cycle anyway. But I don't hold any because I'm gonna explain to you what coins I've decided to focus instead. One of these is Turbo. Is another coin on Ethereum, which I decided to actually focus pretty much all of my efforts into the Ethereum mainnet chain. I don't think that I have any other coins into mainnet Ethereum right now. Turbo really speaks for itself in terms of the power of community. It also is narrative proof, if you want to call it like that, because at the end of the day, it blends AI with meme coins. So this was created with the use of ChatGPT. So people are really saying, oh, listen, this really feeds into the AI narrative, which I don't really disagree on. Obviously, some people would say that it's a bit of a stretch, but at the end of the day, this is how it is. And if you see all of the exchange listings that this project got even listed on Uphold, like so weird for a meme coin project. It's on Kraken. It's got recently listed on Kraken. We didn't see major price action because obviously people are not really going to care about an exchange listing into very bearish times in which Bitcoin keeps going sideways and big players keep dumping Bitcoin in search of market manipulation to get lower prices and to make a large degree of money in the end. Listen, once these exchange listings come into full blast, because we have Kraken, but it doesn't matter right now. Nobody's trading on Kraken. Retail investors are not in crypto right now. In fact, you can see that the volume of Kraken is 0.12%, which is absolutely like ridiculously low. Once the market conditions change, this is really going to dictate how far this project is going to go. And obviously, it's missing Binance and Coinbase, so there's only one out of the top 3 tier 1 exchanges. In my opinion, I see no reason reason why this is not going to get listed onto Binance and Coinbase. So as a matter of fact, I think that Turbo, in terms of risk reward, is probably the best choice on the Ethereum network right now. Pepe, a little less risky, but also less rewards that you're going to be able to generate. Turbo is a little riskier because obviously if you compare, the market cap is like 1/10 of what Pepe is, but obviously it's going to be able to yield you better multipliers, hopefully all things being treated equal. And obviously no meme coin video would be complete without talking about Brett, because Brett is probably one of the most hyped meme coin projects this cycle, especially also with the surging popularity of Crash and the big base cabal, so to speak. And this is really a cabal play, but at the end of the day, the majority of meme coins that succeed are cabal plays. So I'm not opposed to that if they can actually help me make money. A lot of people are saying, oh, but what if Crash sells 50 million worth of Brett? He's gonna make the project crash. I don't disagree with that, but do you think that for his ego, for his reputation in the industry, do you think that these people will really dump Brett right now? They at least want to prove a point, so I think that at least a 10 billion for Brett is a no-brainer. That would be a 15x from here, and I think that realistically we're gonna go towards 20 billion range plus, which right now we'll put it at a 25x or so, even 30x, which is quite outrageous to me. I think it definitely makes sense though. Like, if this is the biggest meme coin on the base network, you guys already know how bullish I am on the base narrative, especially after Coinbase is going to onboard a lot of new people into the base ecosystem. Base is property of Coinbase. Coinbase is the biggest exchange in the world. I don't need to say much else to convince you, though. I'm not really trying to convince you to doing anything. I'm just expressing my thoughts. I hold a very large bag of Brett, and I think it's my biggest meme coin allocation at this very moment. I can't remember the allocation of my portfolio on the top of my head. And listen, do you think that this is not going to list it on Coinbase? Because I think it's quite crazy to believe that this does not get listed there. If you think about it, like, it's crazy. Like, it's the biggest meme coin on base. It's the majority of the millions, and it's the majority of the market cap of the TVL of the entire base ecosystem itself. It's just a no-brainer for me to accumulate Brett at anything below 1 billion, even 1.5 billion. I could make an argument that it's extremely cheap for Brett, and it's quite crazy. Like, imagine when this gets listed to Coinbase, I think it goes like 2, 3, 4, 5x even immediately at the time of the listing. So Brett stays there, and I would rather have Brett as opposed to Pepe, because I think that they carry similar risk at the end of the day. Brett is definitely riskier because there's more cabal whales into it. Pepe is more like a community-driven project at this point that is too big to fail. So there's still that degree of risk with Brett, but I also think that it's just a no-brainer that it gets listed to Coinbase, and I think that the people behind it are really gonna look into making the project very, very good. And also, if you think about it, this is one of the meme coins that has seen the most V-shaped recovery action when the pumps have occurred after big crashes, such as the one that we've seen on August 5th. You can see that Brett was actually one of the first meme coin projects to actually skyrocket back to decent support levels. So take it with a pinch of salt, but I think the Brett is going to be huge. Now, this is not really a pick of myself, but I also want to make an honorable mention, since I'm going to talk about the Solana ecosystem of PopCat. It's not a project that I would buy myself, but I wouldn't be surprised if somebody came to me for a portfolio review and told me, I'm really betting high on PopCat. I would say fair enough, because at the end of the day, cats and dogs, keep it simple. They're going to be some of the biggest narratives when it comes to this meme coin super cycle. And PopCat right now is 600 million in market cap, so it's actually almost 3 times the market cap of Turbo, which blows my mind. The market cap is not that big that you're like, oh, you're not going to get rewards, but it's also not that low then you're thinking, oh, this investment is so damn risky. I don't think that it was a one-trick pony. I don't think that it was like a one shot and then get out. We've seen major corrections, but we've seen also major bounce backs in the market. It's a project that is proving itself to be sort of a blue chip in the cat ecosystem, probably the only cat meme coin that I would consider at this stage. 16% volume to market cap ratio, so even right now that the volume is quite shit for the majority of projects, it's actually being quite good. It's already listed on Bybit, which is one of the top exchanges that I do recommend. And also as a reminder, I am a partner of Bybit, and with my referral link, you can get a very hefty referral bonus at registration, and you can take part to a $30,000 deposit campaign if you just start depositing $250 50 grand and you're gonna have 30 grand into free deposit, which is pretty fucking huge. Just use the link down in the description if you guys are interested. Would I buy this? I would potentially consider it, but given that I want to diversify myself into not too many meme coin projects right now, I probably wouldn't buy it, but it's still like a jolly play. The project that I would buy though on the Solana ecosystem is PONK, which is actually much smaller than which is actually 4 times smaller than Popcat, which blows my mind. And especially because, listen, it has corrected a lot, but it's showing a lot of strength around the support levels. It's another project that has got the Bybit listing and Crypto.com listing as well, and also it's in the Kraken roadmap for exchange listing. So if I type the Kraken roadmap for projects that are going to be listed on Kraken, just like we've seen on Turbo, by the way, you can actually see that PONK is listed here. So given that PONK is going to get listed on Kraken, I remain very bullish on it. I think it's a very, very bullish update. And I think that this is one of the top meme coins when it comes to community and bullish sentiment. I still believe that it's sort of a cabal play, even PONK. The majority of these projects are really cabal plays, but it doesn't really matter if your bags are gonna pump astronomically. I think that there's a lot of potential with this project. I think that a lot of people are underestimating it. It's one of the most active community. They managed to achieve more than 100k followers on X quite organically, to be completely honest. The volume is okay. It's not super astronomically high, but it's still relatively high. And with the tier 1 exchange listings under the horizon and confirmation from Kraken, so it's not just speculation on my end, I do believe that this project is going to do, it's probably going to go towards the billions. I think that 2 to 5, anywhere between 2 to 5 billion is realistic. Obviously, it's a very broad range. It's going to be like, oh, CPRO is so broad. But at the end of the day, I don't want to just tell you, oh, I know the truth. I don't know the truth, but I think that this is at least going to go towards the billions once an altcoin season and a meme coin super cycle comes into full swing. Now, the next one that I'm going to talk about, which right now I hold PONK and I hold another project on Solana. When it comes to meme coins, you probably, if you're not new to my channel, you already know what this project is. I don't even have to remind you. It's Duck the Duck. And at this level of market cap, I know that I've been saying it for a while. It's just a freaking steal. But listen, the market is crap right now. So obviously the project is not going to pump out of the blue, you know, without any catalyst event or anything. But I know what's behind this project. I know that they're actually building a lot. They've been creating a YouTube channel. How many subs? They got 30k followers, the subscribers on YouTube. They are doing an amazing animated series. They have a solid roadmap and a community that is very comparable to PONK at a much smaller scale. And although this is a very risky project at the end of the day because it's so small in market cap, I also make a case that this is less risky than the majority of higher market cap meme coins out there because the direction is very clear. It's very community oriented. Even when the X account was banned for a while, they got super active on Telegram with the sense of community second to none in my opinion. The narrative is there. It's in a league of its own in my mind. So obviously I made several videos about Duck the Duck, so I don't want to bore you too much, but Duck the Duck into the sub 5 million market cap projects is easily my best bet and the only one that I would consider as just a buy and hold and not worry too much about it type of play. I want to take a very short break to tell you about what's happening tonight. So tonight, if you're watching this video, you're still in time. I'm dropping a new private sale project into my VIP group. That is a big deal because you're going to be able to get access and buy a project before it gets released to the market at a much lower price, around 1/3 of the price of the launch, which is freaking huge. And this is just one of the many benefits that I'm offering in my private group right now. So for instance, I've also completed the 3-in-1 course bundle, which includes gem hunting, taking profits, and Crypto 101 course. And this is available for lifetime members only. I am not selling this course separately. You're just gonna have to get access as a lifetime member. So one flat payment, you're never going to pay me ever again. You're going to get access to all the benefits and as an exclusive, the 3-in-1 course bundle, which is not available for monthly members, only for lifetime members, because one of my main goals is to really build a group of investors for the long term, not somebody that just comes in, follows a couple buy alerts and just fucks off. I want something that is really durable for the long term. And this is why I'm making this solution to make it the best that I can possibly offer to you guys. And also it's a course that it's going to be be updated regularly, so it's never gonna come out to date. And every time that you want me to make a lesson, I'm gonna make it for you. This is how bullish I am on my community, on you guys, and this is how I want to get back to you to bring you the best value that I can in the market right now. Nobody else is doing this kind of offers, nobody else in the sphere, none of my peers, and this is why I run the #1 crypto group in the sphere. Now, back to the damn video. Thank you for watching this. If you're interested, obviously, it's the first link in the description and also the QR code you see above my head. Now, the next project is gonna be something that you don't expect, and this is Tron Bow. I know that a lot of people are gonna tell me this is a proper cabal play. Crash can basically make this project go to zero. I agree. I do completely agree on this, but for the same reasoning that I made about Brett, I also believe that this project is going to do relatively well. Right now, is really falling almost into the sweet spot of Fibonacci retracement, which you can see that it was actually quite accurate when we seen the wick right here. This would probably have been the golden zone for accumulation, but up until these very levels is perhaps a good moment for accumulation. And also how I time my answers and how do I think if something is a good accumulation. Well, definitely the Fibonacci retracement tool, but also the RSI. This is something that I go pretty much in detail in my private group, by the way. But you can see that right now we're still into the close to overbought territory. We are in the upper end of the spectrum of the RSI. It's getting close to neutral, so I don't think that it's a bad entry, especially, you know, you're seeing a bit of a drop right now, but I still believe that you might be able to get a cheaper price, to be honest. I would wait a little bit. Listen, I know that this project was a copy. I know that this project was essentially just exploited probably by the cabal, but at the end of the day, the cabal pumps project, and organically projects can only go so far. And I do believe that it's just better to sometimes to follow what the cabal are doing, as long as you don't invest more than you can afford to lose, and as long as you know what you're overall doing in the end, because obviously it's still gonna be riskier than the majority of projects to pull stuff like this. So take it with a pinch of salt. It's on Tron. If you're bullish on the Tron ecosystem, then I do believe that you should probably have at least one play into Tron, but this should really be as a bonus pick. It's not something that I hold right now. I don't want to have anything in terms of long-term backs for Tron. It's something that I'm mainly doing for short-term trades, the Tron network, and this is why I'm just trading projects on BullX. If you want to get access to BullX, also a reminder, you can skip the hundreds of thousands of people that want to get access to it by just clicking on the link that I have pinned into the description of my X profile. I can tell you that, listen, it just makes sense, but obviously if you don't believe into the Tron ecosystem there to stay, then perhaps feel free to skip on this one. And the last project that I'm going to talk about today is another Jolly, and it's Andy on Blast. A lot of people are going to say, bro, this drops so much. The real Andy is on Ethereum. I dare to disagree, because at the end of the day, you're buying a project right now that is pretty much sitting at rock bottom, at a support level that, in my opinion, the cheating has already occurred. You can see that it touched the support zone right now. It broke down, but then it kind of got back on track. I don't think that it's going to drop any cheaper than this. I think that this is the lowest that you're going to be able to accumulate Andy. And why Andy on Blast? Blast is still an experimental chain. Nobody really cares, but if Base becomes quite big, it's a layer 2 for Ethereum, I don't see why Blast wouldn't do the same, since it's another layer 2 for Ethereum. Very similar costs, but a total value lock that is not reliant at all on Memecoins right now, unlike Base. And this is also why when Base becomes more mainstream, I think that alternative chains that scale Ethereum with their own side chain, just in case the Blast ecosystem, they even got their own token, God's sake. I do believe that it's going to be freaking huge. So if there's one meme coin that you want to buy on Blast, it should probably be Andy. I have a full tutorial if you guys are interested into buying that, if you're wondering how to buy a project on Blast in the first place. And I also have a full review of the project itself with my price prediction, etc. So make sure to check it out. It's also available on my channel. Listen, it's 5 million market cap, and it's an extreme gamble. So out of all the projects I've listed today, I'm not here to give you financial advice. Don't treat this as a financial advice, but I can tell you that out of all the projects I've talked about today, this is probably the one that I would allocate the least amount of money. Even for me, I put absolute pennies and a pocket change slot machine money because it's something that could as well go to zero. So you're warned on the risks, but this could easily be towards the billions in market cap, but it's just a gamble. This is a zero to hero kind of play. It's either gonna do a 1000x or gonna go absolutely to zero. So I thank you so much for watching this video. This was pretty much everything that I wanted to talk about right here. I've already talked about my VIP group, so you already know everything about it. If you have any questions, feel free to leave it down in the comments or even shoot me an email. And obviously, let me know what you think about my meme coins that I've ranked today. As I said, don't say, oh, you missed this, C-Pro. How could you forget about this? At the end of the day, this is just some things that I think for the long term, there's plenty more meme coins that I am bullish on that I could have talked about today. So just because I haven't mentioned your favorite meme coin, it doesn't mean that I'm not bullish on it. It's just that I am putting as many coins as I possibly can for a single video. I can't talk about 1000 projects, and obviously it's not realistic for people to have 20 meme coins in their portfolio if they're holding them for the long term. So I thank you so much for watching this video. I hope to see you obviously in my VIP group and help you from there. And maybe you can participate into the private sale tonight. You have only limited time available, so don't miss this chance that you have been given by watching this video. I hope to see you there and help you out with your crypto investing journey. And until then, take care for now.